Well, hello, friends. For those of you who watched 10 Tips to a Successful Marriage, Part 1, welcome back for Part 2. I hope you came back because you went, maybe she does have something interesting to say, and not just, I just got to fill time. Her voice puts me to sleep. Go ahead. It's kind of like the painter guy he used to be on with the Bob Ross. Yeah, I used to turn him on when I used to take a nap. I hope that's not the case with our relationship. If it is, go ahead and rest. Peace and rest is good too. But for those of you that are new to my channel and you came in here, interesting, step back and watch Part 1. Promise it's worth it. True. We've been married 40 years. I introduced my hubby, and we don't have a perfect marriage, but it's perfect for us. And I kind of like us. So I thought, well, I'll share what we think has helped. I'll read the ones that I started with on the other video, and then we'll go from there. Here we go. Number 1, if divorce is never on the table, how are you going to work out that problem? Number 2, arguing is okay, but you don't have to win every argument. Number 3, before you do anything, considering how it is going to make that other person feel or how it will affect them. Number 4, be each other's greatest cheerleader. Number 5, split roles so each one feels needed and purposeful. And now the final tips for how to have a successful 40-year marriage. And let me tell you something right now. This is not your typical 40-year marriage. This is a marriage between two 17-year-old kids who met at 15, decided it was a great idea to get married because there wasn't nothing going on that summer, started having kids at 19 because why not? We seem to be rolling down this hill, okay? We've went through death, life, unemployment, feast, famine, health issues, passion, loving each other, hating each other, loving each other again, hating each other. It's been quite a ride. One that I would have never wanted to have taken with anybody else. So that brings me to my next tip on my list. Let each other grow and evolve. Change is so important, so never stop your partner from becoming their best self. Actually encourage this. Okay, I had a gentleman ask me one time, how in the world are you guys married? We really, seriously, people look at us, we get that all the time. It makes perfect sense because you look at us and you just think, how? I get it. I look at myself and go, how? But one of the things that we have said is within this marriage, you can grow, you can change, you can be who you are as long as we stay in covenant relationship. It's beautiful. I've changed careers multiple times. I've changed my hair color daily sometimes. My husband has, he went from being a very shy and quiet, reserved fella to a very confident and bold business guy. And then he changed careers and he's become more sensitive and kind. He is not the man that I married, but not because, well, you know, we just get softer as we age. No, he has made intentional life corrections and changes. And sometimes it would be challenging for me because what if I don't want him to change? What if it's like we're going through a similar phase right now. He's home more often and our lives are becoming more available to each other. And I'm used to being home by myself when I can do my writing, do my thing. And then we would come together on nights and weekends. And so now he's saying, I want more of your time. And I'm like, but we've lived all of these years with blocks of time. And so his role is changing. I have to respect that and participate in those changes. Just as he's allowed me to grow into a better person. And then he's had to make some minor corrections as I made major ones. I have to respect him enough to do the same. Because ultimately at the end of this deal, we should close our eyes, step off into heaven. But before we do, we need to sit back and go, I lived full out. I lived my best life. No regrets or regrets. We always say no regrets. We don't know why. Somebody misspelled it once and it just stuck. So you have to allow that person to change as long as that change, once again, as my husband stated, how does that affect the other person? Change within your covenant. The next one is share your life. I'm a words person. This is easy. My husband has legitimately come, he evolved and adopted this policy, and now he is beautiful at this. I highly encourage this. This is one of my favorite ones. Share your life. By share your life, I mean, they come in the door, hey, how was your day today? Sometimes, share your life. Well, it was a good day. It's kind of hot. That may be all it needs. But some days you may be going, man, I was struggling. Marcia was here today, and once again, she kept rifling through my drawers, and she kept overhearing my conversations. To have someone in your corner to go, man, that stinks. But not only that, sharing your life, when you come into marriage, you're like this. Two separate people. I thought that's the way it was supposed to be because you don't want to lose your identity. But when we went to therapy one time, oh yeah, that's another story for another day. They said you have to be interdependent. Your lives still have to intertwine, but with still maintaining your individuality. And so we have learned sharing your day, your life. I have on here in my notes, we drive around town and my husband will go, when I was like 7, we were on that hill and we were shooting firecrackers, and it wasn't the 4th of July, and the police came. And so I shoved them over to my 5-year-old sister and said, you hold them. You're too cute. Nobody's going to let anything happen. And then he ran off and left his sister holding the fireworks. He didn't have to tell me that story. It didn't change my life. But you know what? It is a memory that we didn't have, but now we share. To say, you know what? I love Apple Jacks. My favorite cereal. Half the time he's probably going, so? But once again, the more sharing you do, the more it makes you a team. It binds you together. I know a lady, and they were married over 30 years, and it was so sad because we will ask her, oh my gosh, your husband was in the military? Like what branch? I don't know. He didn't want to talk about it. I never asked him. You never asked him about his previous military? No. And then we were talking later, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So he worked down there for how many years? Well, he retired from there. Really? What did he do? I don't know. Ran some kind of machine. You don't know what he did? It made me so sad. I can work next to someone and have more knowledge of their internal workings than some people do with their spouses. That's sad. You should know what makes them tick, and they should know what makes you tick. And it doesn't have to be a 4-hour lengthy conversation. It could just be, hey, I lived there in elementary school, as you're driving by. Share your life. That's the person that sees you and knows you. Let them know you more. And you need to know them. Ask the questions. My husband wasn't a words person, so I would ask him questions. So when you went to school, were you a good student? We ask these things to people we're dating. Ask your spouse. Next. Hold on. Look, I have my notes. I have so many notes. Okay, here we go. This one, it's going to hurt. Be ready. I apologize ahead of time for the pain this one's going to inflict. Would you treat your coworker like you do your spouse? Ow! I know. It hurt, didn't it? Yeah. Here we are at work. I want a cup of coffee. Hey, let me go get it for you. I'm going to go to the copier anyway. I'll get you a cup of coffee. You get home. Hey, Stacy, will you hand me that remote over there? What, are your arms broken? Get up and get it yourself. It's true, and we know it. Not only that, but words have power. I'm going to skip ahead. One of my other next ones is watch your words. Words have power. How did I print it here? Words have power, and when you are speaking negative over someone, they will become what you speak. So let's say you walk in the door, you're exhausted. You've had the day from hell at work. You just want nothing but your own time. And your husband walks in, and you're already got a chip on your shoulder. And all night long, everything he said, you're a freaking idiot. My God, you are so irritating and annoying. All of a sudden, that becomes a habit. Well, that person hears absolutely all night long, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. Then they go to work and they're supposed to succeed and be wonderful. When the person that knows them the best tells them all the time, you're an absolute failure and you're a train wreck and you're rotten. Now go out there and win the world and bring us a big paycheck home, honey. No, we wouldn't treat our coworkers that way. Can you imagine? You're at work and this is data entry. Do they do data entry or is that all voice now? You're data entrying and your cube partner walks in and they sit down and you go, my God, you stink. Did a rat crawl in your pocket and die? No, you would probably overlook it. You may breathe through your mouth or eat a mint or something. But yet your spouse walks into the room and you're like, my God, you fat cow, you're a disgusting human. Take a bath, you pig. Why would we do that? No. And it may not even be that harsh. Let's hope it's not. And maybe you're the one receiving that. I feel bad if you are. And let me know, I think you're of value. You really are, because God don't make no junk. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing, but it's true. You have purpose, you have meaning. Everyone does. And so we need to make sure that the relationship that we are in, that we call our marriage, the one where we're supposed to be able to at night or whenever we come home, to know this is my safe place. This is my place where I can be me, where I am loved, where I am respected, and where I can grow without being ridiculed and demeaned. Yeah, watch your words. And seriously, treat your spouse better than you do your coworker. If your coworker asks for a cup, or doesn't even ask for a cup of coffee, but you just go get that, why not the next time you go in to get a bowl of ice cream to sit down and watch TV, surprise your partner. Bring them in an ice cream. And if they complain, well, it's probably because they're in shock because you've never done that for them before. Sorry. Hey, if I point one finger at you, there's 3 more pointing back at me. I get it. Okay. Lastly, and this is not a tip, this is just the ending and the philosophy of how our marriage has been a success. I have grown by learning from him, whether that's through just information he's relayed, whether that's strengths and gifts he's brought to the table that I've thought, I didn't have that gift. That's a real gift. I'm going to start doing that. Or whether it's through conflict where I've learned to be humbled, where I've learned, you know what, I don't always have to be right, or where I've went, I'm just going to let it go, and then found out later I was right. So then I had to learn to humbly go forth and say, there might be a better way. No matter what, you need to find someone who makes you better as a person. It's funny because there's the big joke. Oh, I picked him out and I knew he was the perfect model. I was going to change him and make him just what I want. The truth is, in a marriage, we should say, that person I trust enough and love enough, they're going to make me a better person. I have to honestly say, I was a pretty spoiled little brat. Some would say I still am, but my husband allows that. It's okay. He finds that endearing. But yeah, I came into this thing. That's why we went to that preacher all those years ago. And he says, look, you guys are going to be divorced if you consider it an option. Don't even consider it. Now work on it. And because of that, there's a scripture that says, iron sharpens iron. And in our relationship, that's what's happened. We have made each other better people. That's the beauty of a long marriage. I wanted to quit. He's wanted to quit. We can't tell you how many times. Sometimes we'd sit down and say, look, maybe we should quit. Because they get hard. You're living with 2 people who have opinions and ideas and the way life should go. But this compromise thing that they talk about is a truth. Sometimes I give, sometimes I take. Sometimes I'm right. Well, I'm most of the time right. No, just kidding. No. Probably most of the time I'm wrong. But yeah, iron sharpening iron. And this person should make you a better person. And you need to, my husband and I were talking, and this is the example that I want you to see. A marriage is, I'm going to take your hand and you're going to take my hand, and we're going to climb hills. Sometimes you're going to be stuck, and it's going to be so challenging and so hard. You need somebody that will take you by the hand and will, with their own blood, sweat, and tears, and they're grunting and they're groaning and they're gritting their teeth, they're going to pull you up to that next level. And then the next hill will be your turn. You will pull them to the next level. And so that's what our marriage has been. We're climbing this hill together. We're holding hand in hand. Sometimes it got slippery. We think we wanted to let go. Sometimes I'm like, get your foot out of or your butt out of my face. Hill climbing can be a nasty thing. But yeah, it's been challenging. But boy, when you get up to those high places, the view is spectacular. Hang on. 40 years, a lot of sacrifices. On this side of it, totally worth it. Okay, well, there's my tips. Worked for us, but you know, we've made a lot of mistakes too. I did a video one time on our testimony of how we got together. Literally, it was so rough, I lost followers. I had to hide it. But just know, ours has been a very bumpy road. But hey, even on bumpy roads, you can go wee and still have a good time. All right, have a good day, and we'll be talking soon. Mwah. See you later.